Good evening, everyone. Good evening. As always, we have the elite, the real ones, Kenny, DJB and Shane. And I just nearly did a schoolboy error, did the countdown and forgot to go live. But just rescued it just in time. But Kenny, how you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm all good. You know, I'd say one thing. I've never understood this rivalry that we're supposed to have with Man United, because obviously I never knew Man United fans as a child, and growing up in my teens as well. Never met any, but I get it there. I get it now. I understand it. I was in the ground. I saw something with our fans, how gutted they were losing to Man United, and I thought, yeah, I understand this rivalry now. But I suppose will always be the rivalry for me. But yeah, we've got a lot of chop up because of the what's happened. But eventually we're going to have to get over it, because we've got two massive games. Every game Arsenal plays massive. We've got the game in Europe tomorrow, which is going to win. We're going to make some significant changes. 4 players are definitely out, 2 suspended, 2 injured. And obviously we've got Leeds. That's massive.
Huge. Shano, having a bit of a rough time over in Ireland there, the Storm Chandler. We've caught it a bit today. We're not as bad as you boys, but there's a lot of flooding where I am. Roads closed, river over there is flooded, burst its banks, but it always does that in the winter anyway. But how are you getting on, mate?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, like you said, the river down the road burst its banks here as well, and they closed off a few roads and stuff like that. But yeah, I was still able to get down to town today. I just went the other way. Went down to pick up a few bits and pieces, but all good otherwise. Can't really complain. You know what I mean? You just got to think there's a lot of people out there worse off at times like this. It would be a bit sort of selfish to get too upset about the fact that it's raining a bit. There's people stuck out there in it, but look, all good, man. Looking forward to the show. Looking forward to the Arsenal match tomorrow night, and onwards and upwards.
Yes, mate. DJB, all good out your way where you are, mate?
Yeah. I mean, there's out in the sort of, as you go further into the country, it's all a bit flooded, and there's sort of some roads here that have flooded over and stuff. It's like, well, heavy, massive, big puddles really. But we've had a lot of rain. It's just this January. It's dragged, isn't it? It's really dragged. Yeah. But the dust is finally settling on the match at the weekend. And some, as Kenny said, some big games ahead. I watched Leeds United with interest yesterday, and it's going to be tough at Ellen Road. It's going to be tough at Ellen Road. They play with a lot of energy, and we seem to be running out of energy, which is worrying.
Yeah, I that's my worry, mate. It really is. Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? We've talked about it. Rory, it says it's just wet and windy here in Jez in Scotland. Well, lucky for you, mate. So I think the storm's heading your way. But let's get into this, right? But before that, anybody who hasn't seen the retro show tonight, you've got to go and watch it. It was amazing what DJ on their shirts. Italia, West Germany, East Germany, all them Uruguay shirts. Oh man, classics. You've got to go and watch it. It's one of the best shows out there. Big up Mighty Mag. Good evening to you, sir. Right, Kenny, give me a brief. I mean, I don't want to drag on this, forever. It's like opening up old wounds, isn't it? The Man United game, you were there first hand. It was crap, wasn't it?
Well, first and foremost, it started off as we usually start in games, especially at home. We have a good 20 minutes of domination. Man United, it's like we look like we're going to just blow teams away, and then we just faded. We got a goal, we got the goal, and from then on, I thought we were just pathetic. We let Man United back into the game. I think Mikel Arteta sucks the joy out of everything we do in terms of attacking flair and attacking football in general. And Man United punished us for that. And once they got their equaliser, it was they were always a spare man more in midfield that absolutely dominated the game. Arsenal fans will tell you anything. If Arsenal fans watching that say that Man United didn't deserve the game, then they're mistaken. What we learned is that we're carrying at least 3 players We're carrying Bukayo Saka. We're carrying Martin Odegaard. And the two forwards were just, they're a waste of time. Jesus just isn't fit, and he's never going to be the one for us. And the guy we bought from bought in Lisboa, all we needed to know about his confidence was in injury time. And thank God it was offside, but come on. Everyone saw it. You had to be like, if you saw it live in the ground, you were just thinking, no, you thought you've seen it all with him, but alas, it was bad. It was bad watching it live. But that's the whole situation in that. To finish my summary, I'll say that basically we got 15 games left, and at this stage of the season, the 27th of January, 2026, our players are running empty. You would have thought it was the end of the season, the way we were playing. No energy, got no panache, and we're carrying a lot of players and bad performance, and we're carrying a lot of players who just come back from injury, a recipe for disaster. Any team that is organised against us, can match us physically and is good on the ball, will not lose against us. Set pieces will save us.
Yep.
True, mate. True. Big up Tony, man. Hammers Football TV. Good to see you, Tone. Even Jez, Kenny, Ken, DJB and Shane. Windy here too, Jez. Been told to cut the beans out. Yeah, well, them Heinz baked beans, mate, they can get you. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. DJ, you were at the game.
Yeah.
Right. You saw it firsthand. You went through the pain. Give me a breakdown of it, mate. I mean,
yeah, well, again, what Kenny said, we came out, thought we were going to be on the front foot, but I never really still was convinced that we was going to go and blow this team away. Even in the first 20 minutes, we were on top. Man United weren't really doing a lot. They were just getting the grips of things. They were organising a few players here and there. More or less sort of saying to us, well, come on, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. But you could tell really early on towards the end of the first half, we were tiring. Zubamendi weren't really performing. He was out of position a lot and struggling to get back in. Declan Rice was running on empty. This is at the end of the first half. And I just knew that if we went in, if we went in drawing at half time, I knew we were in trouble in the second half. The point of the matter is, we're seeing a lot of performances like this from this football team. And the manager don't seem to be freshening it up. And now it's filtering through on the players, the way they play, their body language. They're not playing with any freedom. They're not playing with any kind of, with a spring in their step. A lot of their football is delayed. They're overthinking certain situations when they should be getting into attack a lot quicker. They're overthinking it and losing possession or giving the ball away or not making the right pass. Too many players are lacking in confidence. A lot, and when I mean lacking, really lacking in confidence. Saka's one of them. Saka's one of them. He looks as if he's not enjoying his football. And I said this weeks ago. I said it months ago. I said it before Christmas. He just don't look the same player that he's looked over the years. And it's like a virus. It's just spreading through the team. So if you put all of that on the pitch to what's happening off the pitch, where the manager's not changing anything and trying to freshen up the attack, it's a recipe for a disaster, because we don't look as if we've got any energy, and the team we're playing next week have got bags of energy, and I mean bags of energy. It's just getting worse. I mean, our attack is poor, and it's been poor all season. Let's be honest, it's been poor all season, so nothing surprises me there. And he hasn't done anything to change it. He tried. I mean, he put Saka on the left and Madueke on the right. I mean, that's it. I can't really talk about Gyökeres because I'm on the fence with him, to be honest with you. He's not an Arsenal forward. I think you've heard me say in the past, and Kenny's chuckled before, it's the second coming of a Lee Chapman, I'm afraid.
Oh, yeah, Christ.
It's the second coming of a Lee Chapman, unfortunately. And that's what he's going to go down as. We'll be talking now in 5-10 years' time, and we go, George, you remember when we signed Victor Gorkarez? Yeah, he was similar to that Lee Chapman that we signed all them years ago, wasn't he? Came with a big CV, going to change things, just what we needed. He ain't got it. He hasn't got it. So then we start to think to ourselves, well, okay, what have we got? And then you revert back to Jesus, who never had it in the first place, apart from little moments. And you're relying on him now to lead your front line. And let's be honest, you know, we're going round and round in circles. The bottom line is the players at this football club in key positions, and I mean key positions, your right midfield, your left midfield, your centre forward, your goal scorer, your number 9, whatever you want to call it, your creative midfield player, just not good enough. Not good enough to play for Arsenal. Simple as that. They're just not good enough. And we may get over the line because of other teams' misdemeanors or other teams slipping up. But going into next season with this team and these players, it's frightening. And if the manager can't change it, and he hasn't changed it, and let's be honest, it's down to the manager why the players are like it, Jez.
True.
These players, as soon as you take them out of this team and put them into another team, an Aston Villa, a Newcastle, any other team, they're looking $1 million. I mean, look at Wanyeri. He looked a completely different player after 13 minutes. And this is what I'm saying. So it's going through the team slowly and it's spreading slowly. And I know there's fans out there that think it's the best thing since sliced bread. And I know there's fans out there that are backing it and can't see anything wrong. But we're not fooled, Jez, are we? We're not fooled, mate. You know, we're not fooled. This has been coming for a long, long time. And let's be honest, we shouldn't be top of the league. If you're looking at pure football and you're looking at quality football and how to win football matches, I've got to agree with Paul Scholes. We're probably one of the worst teams to be top of the league right now. Yeah. In entertainment and everything else.
I agree with you.
And I, you know, and it pains me to agree with an ex-Man United player, but I'm sorry, it is poor. It is really, really poor. But it may win a silverware, and if it wins a silverware, what do? Do we forget about it, or do we strive to want better? This is what you've got to ask yourself as an Arsenal fan.
Big question, mate. I mean, you know, I was thinking about this myself, and before I come to Shane, you know, it's a bit like when Leicester City won the league. I'm not going to take their credit away from them, but everybody else dropped off. I mean, we struggled and we beat them twice, but we couldn't beat other teams. And, you know, it was a good opportunity for Arsenal to win the Premier League that year. But Man City, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, they'd all dropped off. So Leicester stepped in, and credit to them. Well done to them. But if you'd had Liverpool or a Man United or Arsenal who could have beaten the other teams, Arsenal would have won that. And this is what basically is happening this year. We are doing it, skimping it, because Man United are now picking up, right? Manchester City have fallen over. Liverpool have disappeared. And Chelsea, well, they're bit part players. Aston Villa are there or thereabouts. So we're winging it. But let's Shane, give me your breakdown, mate. And we're going to move it on.
Yeah, well, I've been repeating this even before the United game, and it's obviously got one game worse now. Is that out of 23 league games, we've taken the lead 4 times without a set piece or an own goal. That's horrendous. That is just pathetic when you think about it. So teams are figuring us out now. Matty said in the summer when we lost Partey and we got Zubimendi, and he said if any team that keeps the ball on the deck and moves it quickly around midfield will shred us. And it's getting easier for them to do it now because it's no coincidence. People say, oh, Declan Rice, I told you he wouldn't get injured. He's exhausted. He is absolutely exhausted. And the one thing that makes Declan Rice a class midfielder, his biggest attribute is his engine, right? He's not going to split a defense with a pass. He might the odd time. Set pieces, of course, are a big part of his game. But getting up and down the pitch, reading the game, his body being able to react quickly enough to the way his brain can. He's got a football brain. He knows he's always in the right place. Except the last 3 games, he's not always in the right place because he's that split second behind because his body is broken, because he's exhausted. So just because he's not physically on the treatment table, he may as well be, because he's not the same Declan Rice. It's like Bukayo Saka. What made him a very good winger was his burst of pace. And I've said the words burst of pace a million times since I've had this channel when I talk about him. He's lost his burst of pace because he snapped his hamstring off. He can't do it anymore. And that's his whole game, was slowing the ball down, then shifting inside and unleashing a shot. Now when he unleashed a shot, he doesn't have the same space. He doesn't have the same time on the ball. His confidence is gone. And this thing of, oh, well, the negativity in the stadium doesn't help the players. No, hang on. What's not helping these players is, no matter how badly they play, being told that they're the best in the world, being told that it's the best manager in the world, being told that we're the best team in the world, that we're going to win quadruples. All we have to do is show up. That's worse. I've said it before. It's like your kids. You're raising your kids. If you tell them that they're great at everything their whole lives, and no matter what they do, oh, you're brilliant, you're the best, you're perfect, they go out into the real world, they get eaten alive because they don't know how they don't understand the word no. And that's the problem. These players need to kick up the arse. That's what they need. And you look at that game against United. Like I said, 4 games we've taken the lead. We are 17th in the league for goals from open play. Now, all the team has to do, if we've only taken the lead 4 times out of 23, it's close enough to 1 in 6. It's closer to 1 in 6 than 1 in 5. If a team doesn't score an own goal and defend set pieces, there's only a 1 in 6 chance that they'll lose to us. The minimum they'll get is a draw. And then if they move the ball quickly in midfield, all they have to do is, like United did, bide the time and then snap into a press every so often. Just catch them by surprise. And then you get Zubimendi panicking. I don't want the ball. And that was like a kid in school with all the big kids running towards him. And he just kicks the ball away because he doesn't want to get tackled. That's what that was like. Oh, but it was the pass beforehand. That was the problem. Give me a break. So they're easily figured out. Teams have figured us out. Move the ball quickly in midfield. Like Kenny says, if they play a bit of football, match us physically, and defend set pieces, we're done. We're finished. Right? We are finished if they do that. And people think that, oh, it's just 1 game. It's not 1 game. It was 2 draws before that. It was 2 draws. And they all told us all of our tough away games are out of the way. No, they're not. Because it's not. People saying, oh, but City have fallen off. I'm not worried about what City are doing. I just worry about that this manager is going to find a way to shit the bed. Excuse my language. Villa have 3, on paper, easier games coming up. They can easily catch us. Villa have just signed. They're getting Tammy Abraham. They're getting Luis back. They're strengthening their squad. Their players are balling out. Who says they can't win the league? Because they're only 4 points off us. City have lost or have won 1 less game than us, and they're the worst team in the world, and we're the best team in the world. They're also in the semi-final of the League Cup. They're also going to qualify out of the Champions League. They're also still in the FA Cup. Yet they're the worst team ever, and we're the best team ever. Our highest goal scorer in the league has 5 goals. This is not sustainable. It's not sustainable, and we've been saying it. The only thing that's surprised me is how long it's taken for it to fall off. And Kenny's right, and I'll finish on this. All those players are knackered. They're all ruined. It looks like a team coming to the end of the season. And we have a long way to go. And why are they knackered? Because we told everybody he will not rotate the team and they will get tired by January. It happens every year under him. And he never learns. We fall off at this time. Every single year we have a slump around now. Because he doesn't learn. He does the same thing. And that's the sign of a lunatic who does the same thing over and over and over again and expects different results. And now what? He had AFT. Sorry, I really will finish on this. AFTV were putting up this thing that finally Arteta has a fully fit squad to pick from. And he resorted back to the team that's failed to get over the line. None of the new signings, except the Zubimendi, who he's wanted for ages, and in Capier because Calafiori wasn't fit. So he has a fully fit squad, and he picks the same team that's failed to get over the line. I don't understand how he's getting this praise, and I'm glad he's getting questioned now. And he's turning on everybody. He's going to throw everybody under the bus. And that captain of ours is an utter disgrace. And I'll leave it at that. That captain, he's not captain. He's a disgrace. He's not a captain. Everything that's wrong with this club.
Big up Dow, big up Jizz on the panel. Kenny, you'll be pleased to see that thumbnail there, won't you? That certain player.
Big up.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just do something. Start a couple of comments here, man. Start a couple of comments. Big up to Dal Hellawell. Up luck, gents. Love the retro show, Shane. You guys need a manager who knows what the football was like 20 years ago, like Carrick. Very good point.
Yep.
Thank you. Super chat, my friend. Thank you. Dal Hellawell again. If you guys' opinion, why do you think Arteta was chosen as manager? We're going to come back to that comment. We're going to come back to that one because I think that's a good point. And big up Wahaha. I didn't know if you got a channel, mate. Or somebody, one of the mods, can put your link in the chat, please. That would be very much appreciated to get you.
Yeah, big up. I'll sub to Wahaha
very, very, very quickly. And by the way, people, please smash the likes up. It does help the channel. Everybody's channel, smashing the likes up. But Kenny, I'm going to come to this comment. I want to get this. He's been booted out. This guy. Jez, Saliba and Gabriel way better than Adams, whether you like it or not. What do you think?
Well, see, that is part of the problem, and why Arsenal fans do get ridiculed and amongst themselves, because a lot of these guys, the trouble with a lot of Arsenal fans, they live in the present. They generally believe that everything we do is the best. Our goalkeeper's the best. Our goalkeeper's better than Alisson. Our number 10 is better than Fernandes and as good as De Bruyne. Our right wing is world class. He's up there with Gareth Bale and all the other right wingers. Our centre half pairing, the best we've ever seen. And therein lies the problem with our fans. They know deep down this isn't true, but the modern fan needs, especially who hasn't got a grasp of our history, or feels that they have to prove themselves, will do anything to show that they're great fans. They'll fight every decision. I've been in stadiums where it's embarrassing. An Arsenal fan player gets tackled and they're asking for a free kick, a normal red-blooded tackle, or Saka goes down and they're all like feeling like it's the end of the world, and they're asking for sending off some free kicks. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing the way our fans. But this is how we've been sort of like moulded, because previously we were priding ourselves in how hard we were in terms of like how many players got sent out under Arsenal Wenger. We wore it with a badge, and then afterwards when we went tiki taka and our players got tackled and there were some really bad injuries, Arsenal have become soft in terms of like fighting every decision and thinking everything's a foul. And then you've got the other fans who think that everyone's against Arsenal. Everyone hates Arsenal. The referees are cheated. Fergie cheated. That's why we didn't win. Guardiola's a cheat. You know, it's like it's like our fans want to make the goals, the pitch smaller and the goals wider so we can win. They want every advantage going our way. Yet we should be 11 points up. We're not. But that's down to us. Saliba and Gabriel will never, ever be considered great players until they win things. Simple. That's the rule of the game. You know, if you look at the teams that won championships at Arsenal, people compare 91, 89, 71, 2004, 2002, the most recent ones. And then they go all the way back to the 30s. They're the ones who are going to be in the walls. These look one, Saliba and Gabriel. People remember them, but when we talk about Arsenal history, they won't be there because they haven't won the league or the Champions League. It's not that. It's not. It's the way football is. People only care about the winners. If our grandchildren are reading up Arsenal history, all they're going to care about is the roll of honour. If they're interested in football, all they're going to care about who won the Champions League in 2026, who won the FA Cup in 2026, the League Cup, the Premiership, and they may be interested in European leagues. They're only going to be interested in that. That's their starting point. And then they may care about who they beat in the finals. They may even want to watch the videos, but that's it. It stops. They're not going to care that Arsenal finished second. They're not going to care that Arsenal might have got the semi-finals. All they're going to care about is who won, and that would be their starting point. And that's why, by all means, say that our Pepsi Cola is better than our opponent's Coca-Cola. But unless we win things, all these comments are going to be just like hot air.
Yeah, they are. It is. I totally agree, 100% on that, Kenny. You know, I don't give a shit that Arsenal comes second. We didn't win nothing. I'm not interested. I mean, you know, you can talk about cup finals that you and I and DJB and Shane, we've either been at there or we've watched them. Do you really give a shit with about Arsenal lost the cup final? No, I don't. I find it painful, actually. I mean, that awful day, 1980, when we lost to West Ham, Trevor Brooking, right? You know, I mean, Arsenal were knackered on that day, but that's beside the point. It was a shit show. But Shano, same question to you. I mean, there you go. Saliba and Gabriel way better than Adams, whether you like it or not. I'd love to know what context that guy's building that. What's your opinion, Shano?
Yeah, look, it's either someone just looking for an argument or someone that you kind of have to, I don't want to say pity, but, you know, come on. I mean, Tony Adams is the best defender Arsenal have ever had.
You're going to have a night out, aren't you? You've got a night out of him, aren't you?
Yeah. You go. That's why I got this. This got delivered today. So I'll get him to sign that. That sums it all.
I know him personally.
I'll get him to sign that, and then that'll be getting framed and put back there. And I'm nervous. I don't normally, if I'm meeting someone, it's like, yeah, well, whatever. With him, it's just he means everything to me. He means everything to me. And we did Kenny, you did it, Jez, you did it, and Kyle did it. We picked our Arsenal all-time 11. And when it got to the centre backs, it was like, well, it's Tony Adams and someone else. He was in everybody's first 11 of the greatest ever Arsenal team. He's the best defender we've ever had, best captain we've ever had, Mr. Arsenal. I mean, to even these guys, you know, they're not fit to lace his boots. I'm sorry. And look, I don't care what they end up doing. They'd have to win 6-7 leagues and Champions League and things like that to start being mentioned in the same breath. Never mind to be better than him. And I think as a defender, unless you start talking about the Maldinis and people like that, he's up there. I mean, you look at ex-professionals that played with him or played against him. Best ever played. Shearer, best ever played against. Tony Adams, best ever played against. They all say it. Anyone that played against him in his pomp, best ever played against. He represents everything that I love about this club. And I've said it recently that my biggest issue with this Arteta era is the PR and what the club has become. That's my bit. Not getting trophies is massive, of course. That gets to me. But it's what it's become. And with each day that passes, I feel like it's two separate clubs getting further and further apart. Honestly, I really do. I look at it and I look at what Arsenal have become to what they once were, and Tony Adams represents everything about the club and what they once were and what I love about Arsenal. So, look, these people want to come in and put in stupid comments. It's up to them. It's their sad lives. But yeah, no, Tony Adams does everything.
He's obviously looking for an argument, which ain't going to happen because I can't entertain that bloke because at the end of the day, he's probably about 18, never saw Tony Adams play. And the fact that us three here and loads of people in the chat carry him in high astute because at the end of the day, he was Mr. Arsenal. Still, to me, is one of the greatest players I've seen at Arsenal Football Club. DJ, give me a brief breakdown on it, mate, and we move it over.
Tony Adams, I mean,
you saw him at Highbury. You see him at
Highbury. I mean, he was captain for our district team. I played long at Barking and Dagenham district. He was the captain, and we all played in the same district team, along with Steve Potts in midfield, the legend of West Ham as well. So, you know, it goes back years. We always knew that he was going to go on to bigger things. One thing with Tony Adams, he got what Arsenal stood for. when he stepped into that team, he knew the history of the football club. He knew what it meant with all the great players that went before him, the Frank McClintocks and everyone else. And he stepped in and he knew what the history was about that football club. And that's how he played, And listen, I get where he's coming from with Gabriel and Saliba in modern day football. They're good defenders. I'm not taking nothing away from them. They are good players in this modern age football. But when you're putting them above a legend of a player like Tony Adams, that's won trophies in different eras, and he's gone through all the different systems and he's gone through all the different styles of play, and he's spoken highly, not just in Arsenal, but around Europe, not just in this country. He's spoken highly of around Europe as well. What he done for England, everything, you've got to really look, fella. If you're still in the chat, just go and check the history of this football club.
One of the mods kicked him out.
Yeah, go. Honestly, these people have to go and check the history of the football club, and this is what annoys me with a lot of the modern day fans, and a lot of fans, mine and Kenny and your age, Jez. They forget all their history, and one thing that we don't. And why I embrace Shane and Aaron and people like this that are younger than us. They know what the club's about. They know the history of the football club. Being Arsenal, supporting Arsenal, and I'm really passionate about this. Supporting Arsenal is not just about everything it stands for. The history. There's no club like it. There's no club like it. They're marble halls of Highbury. Why do you think they're still there? They can't knock them down.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just when you walk down that, when we used to play at Highbury and you used to go to that stadium, there was no other ground like it. Nothing like it. Nothing like it. So proud. The brass band walking onto the pitch at half time. Just everything went through, and Adams got all that. So when he showed that when he played on the pitch, he got everything that Arsenal stands for. And I just find it disrespectful when fans just come in and just because Arteta, because of their love for Arteta, everything that went before this guy is kind of brushed under the carpet, doesn't matter, And what they fail to remember is if it weren't for the likes of your Frank McClintocks, your Tony Adams and your captains like this, there wouldn't really be Arsenal. There'd be no real Arsenal to support. You'd have nothing. You'd have no foundations to build upon. All these foundations have come from great players and great captains from history gone by. And Tony Adams was one of them, and the main one of them, 100%.
Absolutely. I just don't understand. He was obviously wanted. We got another one. I'm just going to block this guy here. Let's get him out of the way. Don't need idiots like that here.
That's because he said, cutting in, Jez.
Go
on. Who's right or wrong now? Because this guy got slandered when he said Odegaard should not be captain. This ain't a guy that ain't going to win you the title.
Mm-hmm.
Little bit truth in that now, isn't there? Little bit truth in that now.
A lot of truth in that. A lot of that. Mm-hmm. It's Frankie, mate. I just binned him out. I can't stand idiots like that. They're just. I don't know why they bother commenting, making stupid comments, because they know they're going to get blocked, and I'm not going to read their comments out. I'll read ones out which I think are funny. Mm-hmm. But as Martin says, there's a reason why Tony Adams is called Mr. Arsenal. Absolutely.
He gets it. He gets
it. Absolutely. Yeah. But let's move it over. Let's move it over. Kenny, tomorrow night, Champions League is back. We've got a team that let's be right. We should, no disrespect to them, but we should be putting the kids out tomorrow night. We've qualified, yeah, and we're into the next knockout stage. Would you put out a full team, or would you put out a weaker team?
I've actually said that. You know, the fact is that Arsenal have to rotate. The evidence of the last few games, especially in the league, where it's helter-skelter and teams are at it, really at it. Majority of the teams we're going to play to the end of the season are going to be teams that only play one game a week, so they're going to be at their fittest, you know, and they're the ones we got to worry about, not the ones that we should be worrying about, the big teams who have got bigger squads, so we should worry about them just on their names. But the teams that are fresh are the ones we should worry about. So he's got to rotate tomorrow. But good thing about it is that we know Saliba and Saliba's out, and Timber are out, so they're not really playing anyway. We know that Declan Rice and Marino are suspended, so they won't be playing anyway. So that's 4 players. So you play Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal. You play Benjamin White. You play Mazu Skelett left back. You play Mosquera and Hincapié at centre halves. No brainer. You play Norgard, Eze. You might play Zubimendi. And then up front 3, Gyökeres up top. Either side of Gyökeres is Madueke and Martinelli. No arguments like that. And that is basically 10 players, 10 new players from the Man United game. And then we've got to concentrate on Leeds because
massive.
Mikel Arteta's going to come unstuck if he's forced to play big, full teams. Now, he's got another opportunity to play that team when we play Wigan, in the 3rd tier of English football in the FA Cup in, I believe, 3 weeks' time. So that's another opportunity, in lieu of the Spurs game where he can rest players. So that's exactly what he's got to do. He has to. It's no good playing Martin Odegaard. It's no good playing Saka. It's not even worth having him on the bench. And if you have him on the bench, don't bring him on. Doesn't matter whether we're 3-0 down or 2-0 down. Doesn't matter. You owe it to our club, and you owe it to our title charge to rest these players. They are completely and utterly shattered. The ones who are fit, the ones who are 80%, the ones who just come out for injury are not fully fit. What you should use when you say Arteta's got a fully fit squad to choose from, just take that word "fit" out of your mouth. Why don't you use a fully available squad to choose from? Because I'll tell you now, the players that just come out from injury don't look fit. Gabriel Magalhaes doesn't look fit. Saliba's not been fit.
Back though, Kenny, haven't they? They've been rushed back.
Yeah, exactly. Saliba's not been fit since the Liverpool game where he done his ankle.
Yep.
That ankle injury is still troubling him. Timber's is not fit either. So you're just having to play him, and then you're having to play him out of position where a partially fit player is playing out of position, which is dangerous. And then so those are the players. Odegaard's not fit. Saka's not fit. Let's be honest. Martinelli's probably not as fit as he probably should be. The only players that are really fit are Madueke don't look fit, but he's looks fitter than some of our players. And Eze's probably the only one that looks fit. Exactly. So really and truly, it's a no-brainer. I'll be absolutely astonished and annoyed if I don't see that team that I chosen yesterday. I'll be astonished because it's self-harming if you play most of those players you played on Sunday.
True, absolutely true. I just want to say to all the spammers coming in, you do realise it actually helps the channel. So thank you. Because the more of you that come in and put your comments in, actually does help the algorithm. So thank you very much, actually. But I'm knocking you all out anyway. There's another one. Yeah. Well, bye-bye. See you later, mate. But there's nearly 200 in watching. So please smash the likes, people. It does really help get the algorithm out there and help build the channel. The Gunnarsson, George Graham, knew his captain when Wenger had a caption to take over from Adams, i.e. Vieira, but Arteta is too damn clueless to start being in the job for over 6 years. True. Absolute. Couldn't say it better myself, really.
Mm.
Shano, this game tomorrow night, mate. Kenny's just given a great analysis, great breakdown. What's your view on it? It's a dead rubber, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Look, I know it's all about getting top, and now it's about winning all 8 games. That's his obsession now, because he knows that meaningless records like that his cult will use that to keep him in a job if he ends up trophyless. Well, if he won all the first team to win 8 games in the Champions League, how can you sack him? Oh, we don't let in 3 goals again. All of those records went in 1 game. All of their silly little records went against United. Rice is suspended, which is a good thing. He was in training today. Why is it, just give him the day off? You know what I mean? Give him 2 days off. He's in training today. What's the point? He can't play. Marino suspended. So I think we will see one of Zubamendi will probably be in the team. I think he'll go Eze. He'll have to go Eze, and Marino will be in the team. I think Gyökeres will start up front. I'd say, be Madueke, Martinelli. The defence, obviously, Saliba and Timber are injured now. And as me and DJB were saying earlier, they haven't picked up a niggle, mate. As Arteta said, they've just been injured since they've come back from injury, and now you're just actually giving them a game off. That's all that is. It's just their injury has been too painful recently. He said, no, look, I'll give you the day off when we play in the Champions League. Just keep playing. And this is what he's done since he's been here. Again, a lunatic. How does he think that playing injured players will suddenly work? Does he really in his head think, well, one day it'll work. Injured players playing them, it won't affect them in the long term. How many careers is this guy? Oh, Marino suspended. Yeah, he is suspended. Yeah, sorry. How many we have to look at Tomiyasu, finished him off. He's finished off his career. Ben White, he's going to do the same. He has already, really. Saka could be the same. Jesus will break down again soon. Havertz will never be fit. He'll never be fit. He's too injured. You can't do your knee twice. And then it came out that the second time was ligaments again, the same ligaments he had done. So he's got all these guys, the careers have been shortened by him. And that's not being melodramatic. That's just a fact. So for me, even in defence, I wouldn't be. I suppose he'll have to play Ben White, but if it was me, I still wouldn't, because he can't play 4 or 5 games in a row anymore. He can't. And then if Timber is injured for longer, he's got. For me, I'd be going Salmon, I'd be going Nichols, I'd be going all of it. Whoever I can fill it with, Lewis Skelly. I understand that you'd have a load of kids in the back four then, but it doesn't matter. We should be just keeping the ball in their half anyway. We're at home. They're nobodies. The defence shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't. But with the way he plays, it will, because whenever we lose the ball, they have time to get set, because all 11 players get back into position instead of just switching the tactics up and saying, right, we're just going to play high press now. If you lose the ball, the 3 closest players, like Barcelona used to and City do, you win the ball back, instead of everybody getting back into position and letting them come onto us. But look, he'll probably play one of Gabriel and Saliba when he could go with Norgard. Norgard might play at centre-back, and maybe one of them will drop out. But maybe he'll play MLS in midfield. He'll never do that, mate. He'll never do that, because that's another thing. Like Odegaard is captain. He'll have to admit he was wrong. I think it will be Lewis Skelly at left back. I'd say it'd be Norgard at centre back with probably Gabriel. And I think we'll see Ben White at right back. I'd say Zubamendi will play with Eze, and then who else? Maybe he will play Odegaard. I don't know. But it's a dead rubber. But he does want those 8 wins, which mean nothing. They mean absolutely nothing. And we were saying that in the Inter game. Why are you bringing Declan Rice on? We have Man United at the weekend. That's more important. And I said at the time that I would rather lose to Inter Milan and change 8 players, the main players that need a rest, than win with a full team. Now, he did make 7 changes. I'll give him that. But he ended up bringing the players on and stuff when he didn't have to. But it's a dead rubber, Jez. And it's a game, like, it's going to be hard to get up for it. But just go there, play the kids, see the game out, and get ready for Leeds on Saturday, because that is not going to be easy on Saturday in any way, shape, or form.
I want to get, I mean, yeah, the people are saying you can't play all the kids, but you can only play the players that are in the A and B squads. And there's enough youngsters in that B squad that we are allowed to play them. So, to me, give them a run out. Yeah.
But the kids don't have to be registered for it, Jez. If they're under a certain age, they're just automatically registered for it if they're English. Or if they've been trained by the club.
Okay. I didn't know that. Fair enough. Okay. Bit of education. Thank you, Shano. DJ, tomorrow night, mate. I mean, you going to the game tomorrow night?
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
You look really impressed about it.
Me and Kenny are going to be there.
You look really happy about it.
Yeah, well, you know, can you imagine? I'm having to sit through Arsenal, Man United, Arsenal, Wolves, Arsenal, everything else, you know, and this is going to be even. Listen, it might be a little bit of more of an exciting game if he plays the youngsters. Listen, the reason why I wouldn't play Ben White is because he's our only backup for Timber, because we've got no one else.
True.
So playing Ben White is a risk for me. So I would go Salmon or Nichols. Skelly, you know, I'd go Skelly left back, even though I'd like to see him in midfield. I'd like to see Skelly in midfield, play him in the 8, try something different. Play 3 at the back, try Skelly in midfield, try something different, try 2 up, try the young lad a noose up front. You know, I'd like to see that. It's not going to happen. I'd like to see him experiment, Jez. Why not?
Right.
Why not? We've earned the right. We've earned the right. Play 3 at the back, play 2 up top, play 5 in midfield. Whoever. But I'll tell you who will play, and he'll have an absolute blinder, and he will look $1 million. He will look world class. Odegaard.
Of course.
No pressure FC.
Yep.
And Odegaard will look $1 million, and you'll have all the usual suspects coming out and going, he's world class. Look at that pass he picked out. Look at this. Look at that. And then he'll turn up at Ellen Road and you won't see him. That's a fact, because the manager's cute. He'll go, right, Martin, you're having a lot of stick lately. I'll put you in this team, knowing that he's going to ball out against Carriwat, yeah? And that just gives him, that then takes the pressure off the captain then, because then everyone starts saying he's world class again. Yeah? And he knows he's got a fan base that's going to come out and start singing his praises. We know it's a false storm, but that's what he'll do. So Odegaard will play. Norgard will play, or should play. Eze will play. I'm pretty similar to the lineup that Kenny said. Martinelli will probably play on the left. You play Gorkarez up front. Gorkarez will look $1 million tomorrow. If he don't score against Carrier, there's something seriously wrong.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm sorry, get rid of him, sell him. If he don't score against Carrier, I'm sorry. Cash in on him. Get him gone.
I have to agree with you, mate. And
I'm sorry. I can't. I've tried to protect him. I've tried to be patient. I've tried.
I want to see him play with a bit of confidence, though. DJ,
yeah,
I'd like to see him play in a different system.
I want to see him play with confidence, but at the end of the day,
I'd give him another. If we had a new manager in the summer, I'd give him half a season, another half.
Yeah. I can see where you're coming from, Shane. 100%. I can see where you're coming from. But no, I'd go Salmon, Nichols, Incape, Mosquera, Skelly will probably play at left back. Yeah, I'll give him that. But listen, he can experiment a little bit, do something different. Show the different side if you've got one. You know, play. You know, try something. But he won't. It'll be the same system. Whether we're playing Carrier whether we're playing Hackney Marshes FC, it doesn't matter. He'll play the same system.
He always reverts to type, doesn't he? That's the thing with him, DJ. He reverts to type.
Yeah, he won't play any different. But I mean, we'll wait and see. But I the only question mark tomorrow is the Ben White, because I'm worried about the fullback positions because we haven't really got adequate cover. And Timber's on, as Shane said, you know, you players like Timber and Saliba, which we've both said have been playing with injuries for half a season, and now they're playing with niggles. So if Timber goes down, the only replacement is Ben White. Do we need to risk him tomorrow? I don't think we do. Play one of the youngsters. But before I leave, wouldn't it have been a perfect game for Ethan Wanyeri tomorrow? What a shame.
Absolutely.
What a shame.
Absolutely.
What a shame. It would have been an absolute perfect game.
He'll be balling out for Marseille that night anyway. So
yeah. What
he's
a shame.
For Marseille that night. He'll be balling out.
What a shame. But yeah, he'll play Odegaard. And Odegaard, you'll see Odegaard. He'd be unrecognisable tomorrow, Odegaard. You watch. He'd be unrecognisable.
If we get a penalty, he'll be DJ.
Oh, listen. But if he plays tomorrow, chat, if he plays tomorrow and has a fantastic game, don't get sucked in, people. He's still crap.
He is. And Mr. Pad says, Jez, would be cool to see tweaks such as playing Skelly in midfield. Yeah, where he should play.
Yeah, play him in late.
Try something new for once, for Pete's sake. Yeah, well, we know he won't, mate. We know he won't. Just got a couple of super chats to do, people. And another good comment as well. JJ07 Football 10. Did you guys see the club's Instagram post about Odegaard? The irony? I haven't. Anybody tell me what he says?
Yeah, they're just celebrating 5 years of Mark. Celebrating 5 years of our captain.
Oh,
it was all strategically placed to dig him up.
Really? That's about, is it? Is okay. Cappy 5847. Thank you, mate. The owners would have the owners would have want him to win for the money they get in champs, and you can't play people that are not registered. We know that. We know that. But thank you for your super chat as well. But as Vincenzo says, for £100,000 per week, no stadium pressure would get to me. Yeah, that's fair point. Fair point. You know, and there's a couple of other ones here somewhere. Mr. Pad says would be. Oh, and I've done that. Where's this one? Devonport Green. Feel sorry for you boys on the panel. It's the same old story every season. When the pressure is on, you fold. And Plymouth Argyle fan, by the way, fantastic. How Odegaard is anywhere near this team is beyond me, let alone captain of the team.
And this is a Plymouth fan. Big up, my friend.
Bloody believable. And 215 watching people. Smash them likes up. Really does help. Okay, Kenny. Leeds United away, Ellen Road. You know what it's like there. It's a tough. The atmosphere is incredible. It's loud. It's noisy. It's intimidating. It's tight old ground, very much like the old classic Highbury type place. Fans close to the pitch. You know what I mean? And it's going to be a tough ask, mate, right now.
Well, every game we're going to play for with this squad that's basically battered from pillar to post is going to be tough now. You know, Leeds played extremely well yesterday against Everton. I don't know how they allowed Everton to get back into the game. They had numerous opportunities where they should have just taken the game away from Everton. You know, they got some good. The thing with Leeds is that they kick the ball really well, and you know their wingers and their fullbacks always make sure they're very direct as well, because they got players like Calvert-Lewin up top. They got Emscher to come on as well. Both of them are direct, both like crosses. So that's going to be a hard game. You know, we've got to be our best physically, and that's why I wouldn't recommend playing even Odegaard, because I know he's going to start against Leeds, and I don't think he should start. So you really, really need to be fresh against this team, because they will put us under the pump. You know, the only thing I've noticed yesterday is that because of the tempo they play at, they do fade. They faded because they faded a bit against Everton at high tempo, but because they're playing us, they may look at the situation and make themselves really organised, and then try and hit us on the break in bursts. But what they will do is they get bodies forward, get their full backs forward, and they will try and get some service in for Calvert-Lewin. So how we got to do it is if we do start for, you know, do our usual 30 minutes of domination, make it count and score early, because if we don't score early against them, there's going to be a situation where physically we are going to feel the pace, and then it'll be a situation where we're going to rely on our subs, who, let's face it, haven't been that effective, or a set piece again. That's one thing I think where we could look at it, but you know, got to be fresh. And if you play a full side tomorrow, you're putting the fitness and application against Leeds in jeopardy. So we really, really got to be out, because at the end of the day, if we do lose against Leeds or don't beat Leeds, and Man City and Villa win their games, respective games, then the pressure really is on. Villa have got Brentford at Villa Park. If you know what Villa, now they've signed Tammy Abrahams, they're trying to get Douglas Luiz, so they're freshening it up a bit. I know McGinn's out for a couple of months, but they're freshening it up. Just like Man City are freshening it up with Gay and Semenyo. So Man City got top Spurs away. You know what's going to happen. Spurs, Man City will blow them away, and in the second half, Spurs will put in a rescue mission, which won't eventually work. So it's highly likely that we're going to be under pressure. So a win's imperative this Saturday, but we ain't going to win the game if we're fresh.
True. Yeah, that is true. Shano, give us your view, mate. You confident?
No. And even before the United game, I was saying that this is going to be rough. DJB called it at the start of the season, and the form Leeds have hit. They moved the ball quickly in midfield, which we know doesn't suit us. They're quite good at defending set pieces. They're quick on the counter. Everything that goes against us, they're good at. And Ellen Road is a nightmare of a ground to go to as well. So yeah, it could be a rough one. I think a draw is probably most likely. But if I had to pick a winner, it would be Leeds, and that scares me that I'm saying that about a newly promoted team. Now we could go there and smash them for all I know. You just don't know with this team, but I do worry. I think the team's wobbling. I think they're knackered, and I think the sort of the collapse that I had envisioned earlier in the season, we're in the process of it now. People say you're crazy. We've only drawn 2 and lost 1, but no. For me, it's one of the least confident I've been going into a game this season. Like I've only picked us to lose twice, I think. One of them came in, the other one didn't. But I look at this game and I go, it's just the wrong time to go there. And that's what I was saying before the United game. I was saying if we don't beat United, Ellen Road looks even scarier than it did before. So it could be a pivotal weekend. If we don't win and City go and beat their bogey team Tottenham away, that's a double statement from them. And again, like I said, don't sleep on Villa. Kenny's right, they've strengthened. Emery's a genius when it comes to getting the best out of players. He had Luis playing so good that Juve came in from. He's got him back now. And Tammy Abraham, if only to sort of put a challenge up to Ollie Watkins and get him playing again, that's a great signing. And yeah, I just think that this could be a really bad weekend for us. If we win, great, but there's a hell of a lot of tough fixtures coming up, and yeah, I don't feel good about it.
True. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Big up Fuzzy, man. Hot Fuzz, go and support Fuzzy. Great guy. Big up to everyone. Hope you've all recovered from the Sunday. No. Serious doubts about the Leeds game. I see more points dropped. I can't lie. And that's from a Man U fan. So there you go. Obviously, they're gassing it right now. Mr. Pads 305. Jez, if we beat Leeds, I reckon it will be a bit of a smash and a grab. Like when we beat them 1-0 a few seasons ago after Saka smashed one in. Yeah, I mean, I watched that game last night, Leeds. They looked pretty naughty. I won't lie. JY009 JY. Odegaard and Zubimendi are too similar in midfield. Yeah, they're useless. User has said 8. This is interesting. Shearer, Sutton, Henri, Bergkamp, Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Suarez, Sturridge, Defoe, Keane, York, Cole, Owen, Fowler. The list goes on. Scrap the solo striker and play the 4-4-2, especially when goals are needed. I've been calling it all season.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's not rocket science, is it?
He reverts to type every single sodding time. Yeah. This is why the guy is an absolute clown. But no, he's the next Messiah. This fella, Arteta, he's the next Messiah. Yeah, can do no wrong. Walks on water. Well, he's going to have to walk on water right now with all the floods. But it is one of them things that DJ, it's going to be a tough game. I don't care what anybody says. We're not going to rock up.
I mean, there was games that I earmarked right at the start of the season, and Leeds was one of them. And I just felt that if they had a chance of staying in the Premiership and they got a run together, this would be a really, really tough fixture in January. Yeah. So at the start of the season, I look at where teams could be and what teams are going to be difficult when we go there. Sunderland was another one because we played them just before Christmas and they was on a bit of a roll. And Leeds is definitely one. And when I watched them, I've been watching them quite a bit this season, Leeds, and they're very, very high tempo team. Yeah, they do run out of puff a little bit in the second half, but I think they might pace themselves against us because we're so predictable and we slow the game down. They can afford to go in and out, and they can afford to tack in numbers and get us on the back foot. Now, when I look at our team, when a team attacks us in numbers, you've got to have your big defensive midfield player step up to the plate. And when this guy is turned on the back foot, or he's running backwards, or he's squeezed, or he's pressured, or he's been put under pressure, or he gets overloaded, the number 6 Zubimendi is not that guy. So there's your weakness right there. So that's one way Leeds can get at us.
I'm going to come back to your comment here. Sorry,
You
DJ,
know?
carry on.
Yeah, and that's one way Leeds can get at us, because our defensive midfield player is literally all over the place when he's under pressure. Okay, and as I said to you before anyone comes in chat, I'm not saying he's a bad player. Again, it's the manager's fault. He shouldn't be playing in the 6. He's not a number 6 in the Premiership. He might be a number 6 on the continent, but he's not a number 6 in the Premiership. That is obvious. The facts of the matter is, we are out of form. Leeds have lost 1 in 10. 1 in 10. I think they've only been beaten twice at home. And it doesn't matter whether you're playing Leeds, whether you're playing West Ham, whether you're playing Stoke away. It doesn't matter. If you are a team out of form, lacking in confidence, and you've got no final third and attacking threat, you're open to the elements. You could lose any game. Any game. Doesn't matter whether you're Arsenal, doesn't matter who you are. And this is the problem that we've got at the moment, Jez. So if anyone now can put their hand on their heart and go, oh, yeah, we're going to smash Leeds, then you're deluded. You're absolutely off your head. There is no Arsenal fan that should be confident going into this game with any real confidence. On current form, we should not be going into this game with any real confidence. Yes, we've got the tools. Yes, on paper, we should be beating Leeds. But if you know anything about football, then current form goes out the window, because Leeds are a good side. They're in a little bit of a false position, a bit like us. Yeah? They're in a false position. They should be mid-table. They should be further up the... they've drawn a lot of games, but they've always been in games, apart from when they come to the Emirates and, it was like early Halloween for them. They just got a bit frightened. They'd just been newly promoted, come into the Emirates. It was a bit of an occasion. They weren't really on it. But let's be honest, they've been in a lot of games, and they've been in a lot of games right till the end. So this is going to be a tough place to go. And Arsenal now are under pressure, Jez, as Kenny said, and everyone, and we've all been saying it. We are under pressure. Every game now is a cup final.
It is, yeah.
And the blood and everyone's saying, oh yeah, but we've got the easiest of fixtures. The most dangerous places to go when you are under pressure and you need points are teams that don't show you any respect, that don't care where they are in the league, as long as they're not going down. And if they've got half a chance of finishing in the top 10, that's what they'll play for. If they've got half a chance of scraping the Conference League, that's what they'll play for.
Question for you there, Mark, DJ.
And Leeds are definitely one of them. DJB, would you put Norgard in for Zubimendi in this one better? Yeah, possibly, absolutely. Or play Norgard, Zubimendi, and Rice. Because we're going to need to be solid in midfield, Martin. 100%. We're going to be like, we've got to be like a brick wall in midfield. So yeah, I am worried about it. If you want a score prediction, 2-1 Leeds United.
I'm going 1-1 myself. I'm going for a dirty draw.
Oh, I'm going for a sneaky win, 1-0 to Arsenal because of the set piece. Set pieces seems to be like a free hit, a penalty in it. Every time we get a set piece, it's like being ordered a penalty. So I suppose we're going to go for that. And I'm in your corner. It's like a penalty these days.
I'm just not confident, Jez, and I'd be lying to myself to predict an Arsenal win. I don't see us scoring goals from open play. I don't see us being creative.
Don't score goals from open play.
I really don't.
Rarely.
I really don't.
I mean, we got punished the other night. The other day from Man United. They can score goals from 24 yards out.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm really hoping I'm wrong.
Yeah,
God, I hope I'm wrong.
Yes, so I'm with you. I'm with you. Big up Brian, man. Big up Jez in the chat. Big up to you, my friend. Always here, always supportive. DJ Jamboy, hate to say it, Rice, Norgard, Marino might be our best option for Leeds away. Could be, but we know what'll happen. We know what'll happen. You know that it's going to be Odegaard's going to be in there. Lynch says 1 loss in last 11 Leeds. Yeah, they played great last night. Fudgy says I think a 1-1 draw. That's where I'm going with, man. Kawaji says Haram Football FC incoming. A lot of people going, oh dear, it's not positive. DJ Jamboy's going 2-1 for the Leeds, and David Carroll's going 1-0 Leeds. So it's not looking pretty right now. Lynch says I lost 4 in a row before that, but it was to City, Villa, at Forest, Brighton. Tough games. Yeah, fair play. Andrew's going 2-1 Leeds. Dear, oh dear. This is not looking good, boys. Paul Hoden says I'd put Norgard in for Arteta. Well, yeah, who wouldn't? Gianni, big up Gianni, man. Big up all the legends on the panel. Hope all is well with all you guys. Yeah, not bad, mate. We're still suffering. You know what I mean? We're still a little bit hungover from the loss. Yeah, Brian says I see it a draw as well. I've got a question we're going to end on, which it's here again, actually. Fair play. I can't even try and pronounce that name. Hi, Jez. I'm 24, so I don't have a super long memory of Ajax, but that's my club. Great club. Do you have any great memories of either the Dutch national team or Ajax? Shout out to DJB, Kenny and Shane. Well, Ajax have been a great club over the years. There's no question about it. Produced some amazing footballers. And, of course, we can't forget the amazing Dutch national team. You know,
just the best. That's 70s.
1974, then they lost to West Germany. Great. I thought they were going to walk it. I have to be honest, I thought they were going to fucking walk that. But they just didn't turn up on the day. Kenny, Ajax national, Holland national team. They've had some great players, haven't they?
Well, definitely. I think over the years, Ajax as well. You know, you have to go back to 1966 when Liverpool won the league and then the European Cup. Ajax absolutely smashed Liverpool to pieces. A young 17-year-old Johan Cruyff was in that team, and from then on, remember they got to 69 European Cup final, lost to as I said, AC Milan, 69. And from 71 to 73, they dominated the competition, and obviously German football took over, and then obviously they had that renaissance in the mid-90s with that great team under 10 Van Gaal. So Ajax is like the bastions of Dutch football, but so is other clubs. Obviously, Feyenoord, PSV, Sparta Rotterdam had some really great players. And remember, PSV and Feyenoord have won in Europe as well, won the Champions League. But when you talk about the Dutch teams, you have the starting point is always going to be 1974. That form they should have won, and then 78. They weren't that great, but they got to the final, and again they choked. And then 88, you have to talk about that great side under Hulk, Van Basten, Rijkaard, Van Aalen, with Van Breukelen in goal. These great players. So Dutch football's always its greatest, but at the moment, sadly Dutch football's not its greatest because they're not producing the sort of players that were coveted by our great leagues in Europe, especially the Premiership. But they're still producing players. But the Dutch national side is not as strong, but they did really well getting to semi-finals of the Euros where England beat them.
True. Yeah, it's true. Before companies showing just do the super chat, man. T. Todd Gooner, thank you, mate. Leeds will be up for it. Aronson runs all day.
Yeah, he's been in great form.
Yeah, there we go. Shano, Ajax and the Netherlands national team. I mean, some of the players they've produced. Come on,
Yeah, well, listen, anybody in from my chat and DJ and Kenny will know that I have a massive love of all things Dutch football. Like there it is there. Growing up, fell in love with Dutch football. Ruud Gullit, Van Basten, of course, who I still think is possibly the most complete forward there's ever been. He had everything. The Ajax side from 70 onwards, like Kenny was saying, 1-3 in a row. They weren't stopped until the Bayern team came in and won 3 in a row off them. The way they've reinvented football, there's teams that come along, Hungary of the 30s, of the 50s, and then Brazil of the 60s, and then Holland of the 70s. It's all sort of moving on one from the other and reinventing football. And I just finished a book on tactics that went into the way Holland reinvented football. Just geniuses, and the 95 team was exceptional, absolutely exceptional. We went through the players on it before, and I think only about 3 of them were signed. The rest of them came through the youth system. Seedorf, Davids, the De Boer twins, Van der Sar. I mean, they just reinvented football. Then they had the youngsters like Kanu, and they brought in Litmanen, and Overmars was there, and they were just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And that team, if it hadn't got picked apart, could have dominated. They really could have dominated. And then we have our own Dutch legends. Mark Overmars changed the game. Never seen a winger like him, and I haven't seen one since. I think Bobby Pires pips him for being a better player and for the longevity, but Overmars was devastating. It's very easy to forget how devastating he was.
And of course,
the one and only Dennis Bergkamp. You know what I mean? As John Hartson said, he could play in snow. When he plays in the snow, he doesn't leave footprints. Holland for me are how football should be played. I've always thought that's how football should be played. And if they had a bit of a cutting edge back in the day, they wouldn't just have one European Cup to show for their efforts. But massive love for everything Dutch football. And I can never speak highly enough. Ajax, club that I love. They do it the right way, or they did, bring it through the kids. And can't speak highly enough. And of course, Glenn Helder, greatest Dutchman there's ever been.
True. Arsenal FC, not Arteta.
Yeah, they get that in.
Me and Glenn, man.
On the roundabout to cook Stricto and Christian, especially Stricto.
Yeah, let them have their day in the sun.
Yeah, let them have them.
Ironically, I've been invited, but I told Dan that I'm going to enjoy myself with Jess and my boys, and then I'll join later. So
yeah. Actually, funny enough, Dan did say to me 2 weeks ago, I'll get you back on, but it won't be with Stricto. I said, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry me.
Yeah,
but it hasn't come through. So
tunnel vision, isn't it? Tunnel vision.
We'll swerve that one. Huge respect for Ajax's Andrew J54. Yeah, great club, fantastic. Some of the players,
amazing.
DJB, you've seen it. Some of the players they've produced, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just as a kid growing up through the 70s, watching the Cruyffs and all of that, and the Ajax total football. Centre halves playing as centre forwards and feeling comfortable in that position. Don't matter where they played, they all knew what to do, and technical ability and the interchanging, the passing, the movement, the running off the ball. Everything about Dutch football was just a joy to watch. And the players, I mean, I don't think any other nations produce so many brilliant players, not just sort of bang average players. You go back like, the Seeksies and, all of that. The Bergkamps, Krols, the Rudy Krols, even like the Dirk Kuyts and all of the players, you can just reel them off your tongue. And every single one of them would walk into any team. No matter who you pulled out of a Dutch team or an Ajax team, they'd walk into most teams in Europe, I mean, they've had some good goalkeepers as well over the years as well. So, not just the outfield players. They've had some top goalkeepers as well. And, I mean, listen, whenever they got to a final or a semi or a quarter, I always say that Dutch football was like the European equivalent of Brazil. Everyone wanted them to win.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone that never watched Dutch football and thought, Who do you want to win, Holland or Germany? Oh, Holland.
74, I was always
Yeah. Who do you want? You know, and then it gets into the 80s and Holland are playing, and you're like, who do you want to win? I want Holland. You know, I don't know anyone that backed against them. That they were like the European equivalent to Brazil. They were just phenomenal team. And you don't really see football like it anymore, unfortunately. In fact, you don't see football like it nowhere near it. But yeah, they've had some amazing footballers, and Dennis Berg, Marco van Basten. I mean, what a player! Ruud Gullit as well. I loved Ruud Gullit. Rijkaard.
Yeah. He's underrated, don't you think, DJB? Even though Ruud Gullit is highly rated, I still think he's underrated for how good he is.
Yeah, 100%. I was just going to say very underrated.
Unbelievable player.
Yeah, you know, Edgar Davids.
Seedorf as well.
Seedorf underrated. I mean, he went down in Miami, you know, when the spitting incident was that.
Oh, that was Rijkaard.
Rijkaard, sorry, Rijkaard. But he was a player, Rijkaard. Koeman as well, Royal Koeman.
Yeah. Scored, Kenny, what was it, 24 goals with Feyenoord one season, Koeman, didn't he?
24,
centre back.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I mean, it was just one after the other.
Yeah.
They'll be back.
But the thing with Dutch football, it hasn't happened. You know, I think the Dutch fans were spoiled. Where they had this conveyor belt of talent. It was always been there, but because of the success of Gullit and Van Basten in Italy, there was like a massive conveyor belt, and that stalled a bit, and then obviously with what happened in '95 with Ajax, then there was another conveyor belt. But if we look at the situation now with Dutch football, the players are still there, but I think football in general, everyone across the world want to play like Pep. Anywhere you go now, any team you watch, especially in the leagues, then there's no right.
Such a shame.
Everyone's inverted forwards and centre forwards. You'll find them topping the goal charts, but it's very difficult for them to make the transition to the Premier League because the Premier League is now like what Italy was before. Yeah. If you score 25 goals, or even if you score 15, you're worth £100 million. And I think Dutch football is suffering from that. And
it's a shame, isn't it? It is a shame.
But the thing about it, it's always going to come back because at the end of the day, they are producing the players. But the thing is that England are strong now. Spain are extremely strong. So if you look at the best teams in Europe, if you really want to sort of like talk with any biasness, the strongest teams in Europe are actually England, France, and Spain, and then it's the rest. And Dutch football has to catch up with Spain, France, and England.
Yeah,
but that's one thing, though, Kenny, that I've often said that breaks my heart about the Pep thing is that all the countries have lost their identity. I always say it like when I think the pinnacle of it was that 74 final where it was two completely contrasting styles. But it produced something beautiful because it was two contrasting styles.
I think
Roy Hodgson said it that sorry, Jez?
No, I was just going to say, I think if we had the option, we'd take a few of them players in the Arsenal team now, wouldn't we?
Oh, without a doubt. But that's the thing with the styles gone. Roy Hodgson, I think, said it that years ago. You could have, if you got Germany, Spain, Italy, France, England, and you got all their players and you blurred them out, by the way they play, you'd still be able to pick which country was which by the style of play, even if you couldn't see the players. And now it would just all be the same. You wouldn't be able to pick them. And I think the thing was, I read before about the Holland players as well, is that it's one of the most congested countries in the world. Like and ironically, their players are obsessed with space. Bergkamp was obsessed with space. It was always, he liked to chip the keeper because he said there's more space over the keeper. They're always about finding space. Can you find space? And a lot of it is to do with, I think, that they're so used to being congested that on the pitch, they realize how important space is. But all of those sort of DNAs of countries are gone. Brazil don't have the same DNA, and Argentina have a bit of it still, and Uruguay do, but it's disappearing all the time. Yeah, exactly. Depay's their top scorer. That shows how many friendlies there are these days. That's all that shows.
Yeah, Yeah.
We're gonna wrap it up, people, in a minute, because Kenny's got to jump over to the roundabout, which I'm going to watch, because that's going to be
Good luck, Kenny.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's already started. I think it's already started already. I think.
That's why I'm going to wrap it up so you can get over there. I want to go and watch this. Terry Tibbs says, "Don't forget Portugal, Kenny. We've won a few Nations Leagues.
You know what? In my ignorance, I'm sorry about because Portugal are a fantastic side, and obviously everyone talks about Ronaldo. A lot of good players as well, and a good team as well. So yeah, but I do think Dutch football. When you think about those four countries, you know they need to catch up with those four countries, and I think even Germany need to do it as well. To be honest,
true.
Yeah, well, the thing with Portugal though is they weren't very good when they came up against Troy Parrott there a couple of months ago, though, already. But
they're already qualified.
No, not having that, Kenny. We popped them off the park.
When's the playoffs?
26th of March. 26th of March.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Wales. You got Wales in it.
Troy Parrott just stuck a hat trick past Ajax there the other week as well.
Are you confident? You confident you get through? You'll get through.
Do you know what? I am, and that worries me. because whenever you're confident with Ireland, we go and lose 4-0 or something. If we win that game, because it's not 2 legs, but we got drawn away for the semi-final. But it's Czech Republic. I think we can do them. And then if we do them, then we're at the Aviva for the final.
We could fall out that night, Shane. I'm half Welsh, so you know what I mean. Could fall out.
Yeah.
What Binks, Hendon Gooner? Yeah, I was 7. I remember the injustice of it. All right. Yeah, the Argentina game in that final against Holland. Yeah, the referees.
I was 7 as well.
Disgusting. They were cheaters and everything. But it's been a great chat. Great questions in the chat as well. It's been awesome tonight. Thanks everybody that's jumped in. Thanks for the super chats. It's been absolutely awesome. Kenny's going to jump over now to Dan Potts' show, The Roundabout. For you guys, seen some fun to see. Dutch team pressing Knights 1974. What a team they were.
Amazing.
I was gutted they lost to West Germany at the time. But we're gonna get out of here. Kenny wants to get over there. I want to go and watch it. The money's just not the same here anymore. Ajax has only 2 years to build a good team, and then the best players get bought. Yeah, they've always been a selling team.
They used to get a few more years out of them, no, Kenny. Though.
Van der Beek. Van der Beek was quality. He went to Man United, went to the graveyard, and that was it.
They've ruined better players than him.
Oh, they've ruined better players than him, yeah. But
yeah, very true. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. Thank you, chat. Thank you for all the super chats. It's been amazing.
Big up, everyone.
Big up to Rashid as well. Rashid is live as well.
Big up, Rashid.
Do the outro. Kenny, have a good chat on Dan's tonight. And I'll be over there, give you some support and watch. And
big up the Lynch. Big up mine.
We're out of here, people. Thanks, everyone. See you later.